Hi everyone, it's Lisa Mears. Thank you for joining me today. In today's video, I'm going to be making two cards using the pointed butterfly Fold It from the Stamps of Life. These cards are actually ones that I made a long time ago when I was on the Stamps of Life design team, and this die set has just been released, so I thought I would share my cards with you today. I'm going to be making two shaped cards. One is going to be a Fold It card, and the other is going to be an Easel card. So here's a look at what the die set looks like. It is a large butterfly shape that does make a card sized for an A2 size, which is 4¼ by 5½. You have this large piece which actually makes the card base if you're making a shaped card. If you're not making a shaped card, you can use that as your shadow layer. And then you have this other piece, which is the piece that you can die cut out of various papers, pattern papers, solid cardstock that you can layer on top of your shadow. So for my first card, I'm taking a piece of 8½ by 11 cardstock and I'm folding it in half, and then I'm taking the large die. This is the die that's going to make my card base, and on the side and on the top of the die it says place fold here, and you can either place the fold at the top of the die or on the side on the left wing. That's up to you. So if you wanted to make it a top folding card, just place the top of the die slightly above the fold in the cardstock. But I'm going to make a side folding card, so I'm going to place the left side of the die slightly to the left edge of that fold in the cardstock. And then I'm going to run that through my die cut machine. So I'm just going to take some washi tape to hold that die to my cardstock, and then I'll go ahead and die cut that. And when the die comes out of your die cutting machine, you can see that you have your card base. Now take a look at the left side. You can see that it is a flat edge. So to fix that, you're just going to take this large die again and just die cut another piece of cardstock. It's the same color cardstock as the card base, but it's not folded. This is just a flat piece, and you're going to go ahead and die cut this one time. And that is the piece that you'll be able to decorate to put on the actual card base. You can see that that's going to fix that flat edge that's on that left side. So I'm going to go ahead and start with that top layer that I just die cut, and I'm going to go ahead and start decorating it. And to do that, I'm going to take this butterfly die and I'm going to die cut it from this pattern paper. And when that comes out of the die cut machine, you can see that I have all of these little pieces from that butterfly that I can use to decorate that top teal layer. So all of these little pieces cut out. You have the head with the antenna, the wings, and then these little pieces as part of the wings that die cut. So I have all of these pieces for the pattern paper that I can use to then start layering on my teal cardstock. By the way, this is the ocean cardstock from the Stamps of Life. So I went ahead and took that die again and die cut it out of the white cardstock so that I can have different colors. I'm going to have the pattern on the inside wings and then just have the white along the outside. So I'm just taking these white wings and I'm adding some ink to the edges just so that they have a little bit of pink tint to them. Just adding a little bit of ink blending. I also did some ink blending on those pieces of the wings that are the pattern paper. So there's a little bit of pink on all of that pattern paper and cardstock, and I'm just going to start gluing all of these pieces down to the teal shadow layer. So I'm going to start with the white outline of the wings, and I'm going to glue those down on both sides, and then I'll glue in the pattern paper so that it fits right inside, and then I'll go ahead and glue the body of the butterfly. I'm going to add the white and then the white head with the antenna and add some white on the inside of the wings. And I actually decided after I glued all that down that I want to go ahead and add the pattern paper on the head with the antenna and then the inside body. So I'm just going to add glue to those pieces and add them right on top of the white part of that butterfly. Next, I'm going to add glue to the decorated piece of my butterfly, and then I'm going to add that directly to my card base. And that's how easy it is to make a shaped card. But I'm going to take it a few steps further. I am going to add some of these epoxy dots that match the ocean cardstock. I add those to the middle of the butterfly. And then I'm going to take this small butterfly die. This is from the butterfly dies from the Stamps of Life. It's the identical butterfly, but a little bit smaller. And I die cut the top decorative die just out of some pattern paper. and I die cut the shadow out of the same ocean cardstock. Just going to add some of the ink there to the edges of that pattern paper. I believe this is the sea glass ink that I'm using from the Stamps of Life, just to add a little bit of that teal color. I also die cut another one out of this pink pattern paper, but this one I'm actually going to paper piece. I'm actually cutting the wings away from the body, and I'm just going to piece some of these pattern papers together. So I'm going to add the pink on top of that white and teal piece. So this is a fun way of being able to change up the color cardstock or the pattern paper on the smaller dies, because the smaller die, that butterfly piece, is one entire piece. So if you wanted to piece in different colors, you'll just have to die cut it out of different color cardstock or different colors of pattern paper, cut apart what you want to piece in, and then glue those pieces down. So I just glued down the body and the head with the antenna, and that is out of the pink pattern paper. Then I'm just going to flip that over. I'm just going to add some very small foam dots to the back of the wings because I want the butterfly to actually pop up a little bit on my shadow layer. I am going to apply some glue here to the middle part and the outside wings. And then I'm going to add that butterfly to the shadow layer. So I'm going to press the outside wings down to the cardstock, and the inside wings are able to pop up. So I have a sentiment that says smile. This is from the Stamps of Life Inspirational Words. I'm going to go ahead and add the sentiment to the butterfly. It extends a little bit past the actual card base, so I'm just going to snip off the end of that line in the E. And I did die cut the shadow layer out of the same ocean cardstock, while the word smile is die cut out of the white or powdered sugar cardstock. So I'm just going to add the smaller butterfly to the lower right hand corner of the card. And then on the inside, I'm going to stamp out a sentiment, be your own kind of beautiful. This is from the Butterfly to Stamp set. And I'm going to add some Nuvo drops in the white blizzard color to the center of the eyes. Now if you don't have Nuvo drops, you can always die cut the butterfly die again with some cardstock and just put some cardstock pieces in for the eyes. So that completes my first card. So moving on, I am going to create a second card, and the second card will be an easel card using the same die. So I have some pattern paper and some cardstock. I have the kiwi cardstock, the pixie cardstock, and then some pattern paper from the Stamps of Life. I believe the pattern paper was from the Friend collection. So again, I'm using the same process as I did with the previous card, and I folded the cardstock in half. This time it's going to be a top folding card. So this time I'm placing the top of the die so that it's slightly above the fold in the cardstock. I'm going to go ahead and use some washi tape to hold that die down to the cardstock, and I'm going to run that through my die cutting machine. And after that comes out of the die cutting machine, I have my card base, and you can see that it opens at the top of the card. So with the card base laying flat on the table, I'm going to fold up the bottom portion of this top layer of my card. So if you look at the card base, you'll see that there are these indents there on the butterfly on the left and right. I'm just going to take the bottom portion of that top layer and fold it up just to where those wings connect at those indentions. Next, I'm going to take another piece of the same color cardstock, and by the way, this is the kiwi cardstock from the Stamps of Life. I'm going to die cut another butterfly using that same die, and then I'm going to take that butterfly die cut and I'm going to glue it only at the bottom where that fold is. So you'll see that it will lay flat on the card base, but you're not going to glue the top. You're only going to glue the bottom where that fold in the cardstock is. So just this part right here. So I'm going to go ahead and apply glue to the top of the flap. And then I'm going to add the large butterfly die cut right on top. So I'm just going to line up the wings of the single butterfly die cut with the card base, and then I'm going to press that down really well. So now you can see that it's beginning to take the shape of an easel card. Next, I'm going to take the other butterfly die that actually cuts out the different pieces to the butterfly, and I'm going to die cut it with a pattern paper and the Pixie cardstock, which is a light purple cardstock. After all of my pieces are die cut, I'm just going to add some ink to the edges just to add some more depth and dimension to these cards. So I'm using the Pixie ink from the Stamps of Life just to add some to the Pixie cardstock. So I will go ahead and add all of those pieces to the kiwi shadow layer. I'll start with the head and the body in the middle, and then I will add the wings and the outside wings. So you can see those beautiful colors of cardstock and pattern paper, how they match so well. I actually chose all of those colors because those are the colors that were in the pattern paper. So you can see the pattern paper has the purple and the green, so that's what I went with when I chose my solid cardstock. There are 4 accent pieces in the middle of the wings that I die cut out of the ocean cardstock and pop those in. And then I have this dream word die that I got from a Stamps of Life previous card kit, and I just die cut that out of some of the blue cardstock as well as white cardstock for the words. And then I have this little flower die. This flower die is part of the Flower to Build die set, which I die cut out of the navy blue as well as the ocean, and I did 4 of those, and I'm just adding them in the 4 corners of the butterfly wings. I will go ahead and add the sentiment across the body. And then as for the eyes, which I still need to add, I'm going to go ahead and just drop some glue in the circles for the eyes. And I did die cut some paper, and I'm just going to pop those paper pieces right in the spots for the eyes. So now the only thing left to do is to actually have a piece of cardstock that will hold this easel card up. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp out a sentiment, follow your dreams, and I'm just going to trim that down with my scissors so it's a rectangular shape. And then I'm going to back that on some blue cardstock, and I'm just going to trim that down, and then I'll just add glue to the white cardstock and layer that on top of the blue. I'll add some double-sided adhesive foam on the back of the sentiment. And I'm actually going to double this up. So after I add the first layer of foam, I pull back the adhesive backing and add another layer just because I want this really to pop up. And then I'm going to add that to my easel card. So I add it at the bottom there on the kiwi cardstock, which is the base of the card. So I'm going to go ahead and add it. And that rectangle is going to act as a stopper so that it actually holds that butterfly panel up so that it can form an easel card. So once again, here are the 2 cards that I made with the pointed butterfly folded. So I have a folded card and an easel card. If you like this video, please click that thumbs up button and be sure to subscribe for more card making tutorials. Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day. Bye-bye.